We cannot let the wrong people in, and I will not allow that to happen during this administration. And people, the citizens of our country, want that, and that's their attitude too, I will tell you. We are getting such praise for our stance, and it's a stance of common sense. Maybe a certain toughness, but it's really more than toughness. It's a stance of common sense, and we are going to pursue it vigorously.
President Trump earlier today reiterating his commitment to extreme vetting, even in the face of stiff resistance from the U.S. court system. And yesterday on Fox News Sunday, White House senior advisor Steve Miller, he said that the president is exploring all options to keep you, the American people, safe. Watch this.
Right now, we are considering and pursuing all options. Those options include seeking an emergency stay at the Supreme Court, continuing the appeal with the panel, having an emergency hearing en banc, or going to the trial court in the district level and a trial on the merits. They also include, as you've mentioned, the possibility of new executive actions designed to prevent terrorist infiltration of our country. But I want to say something very clearly, and this is going to be very disappointing to the people protesting the president and the people in Congress, like Senator Schumer, who've attacked the president for his lawful and necessary action. The president's powers here are beyond question.
Now, while the administration plots its next move, the Center for Immigration Studies released a brand new report which analyzed the Senate Judiciary Committee data. They found this: 72 individuals from the 7 countries covered in President Trump's vetting executive order have been convicted in terror cases since 9/11/2001. We continue with the editor-in-chief of LifeZette, Fox News contributor, nationally syndicated radio talk show host, Laura Ingraham. All right, I want to look at a broader picture here, because what Miller clearly was talking about, enumerated powers of the president as the commander-in-chief, and obviously U.S. Code 81182, which we've all discussed. What's happening is, first they go after Kellyanne, then they go after Bannon, Darth Vader. Now they're going after Miller. I see now another round of attacks on Trump. Now this is on top of going, and we'll talk about this next, Donald Trump's 10-year-old son, now his grandchild, and Eric Trump has to stop his fundraising for St. Jude's Hospital, millions of dollars he raises. Ivanka Trump, Kellyanne, now Don Jr.'s kids.
Don't you wish you were in the White House, Sean? Would that be fun?
No one invited me, so I'm fine. But the question, here's my question. I think this is an effort to demonize, delegitimize, and hurt, and make it hard for everybody around the president, and it's an orchestrated effort. Am I wrong?
It's Alinsky tactics 101. I mean, isolate, demonize, delegitimize, dismiss. And we know that. I mean, you've been dealing with this for years on air and exposing it. You exposed it when Obama was just took over and during the campaign in 2008. This is what they're going to do. We knew this. So what do you have to do when you're messaging in important changes and necessary changes in policy? What do? Well, the way you roll it out is important. The way you set the tone of the objective is important. It all makes it more difficult when you do a rollout right. It makes it more difficult for the left to caricature you, to demonize you, to dismiss you. They'll try, and invariably, in some cases, maybe they'll even succeed. But it's very important for the Trump team to all be on the same page and reiterating the same themes, not stepping on each other's narrative, not stepping on the overall point here, which is to keep the country safe and to do this the right way. And I think it's early on, everybody's trying to get their footing, and I think the left and some in the media are taking advantage of the fact that this is new stuff for a lot of the folks in the White House. It's not a criticism. It's just, it's new. It's not running a campaign. Governing is different from campaigning, and you need a strong chief of staff, you need a strong communications team, and you need people who are unafraid and courageous. I think they have all that, but they're still, I think they're still finding their footing. I think it's going to be fine, but I think there've been some.
I just think a lot of it is personal and it's unfair. But look at all the stories today. I'll pull up one story after another. The story about a shadow White House where Obama's going to be, and he's organizing people and supporting the protesters and scheming to sabotage President Trump. Jim Webb actually said there's a campaign on Capitol Hill in the media and academia to personally discredit Trump. Okay, Bill Maher, Trump is mentally ill. CNN, they had two guests this weekend suggesting the same thing. Al Franken, by the way, the last person to talk, saying the same thing. All of this, it seems like there's an effort to delegitimize that even with George W. Bush and Bush derangement syndrome, it took a little bit of time. There's no honeymoon period here for the president.
Yeah, but there is no honeymoon period. But you and I knew that. We said right the day after the election, it's going to be war every day. They're going to challenge every action that you take in court. You better make sure you have your key team members in place before you rush out to do something.
You know, by the way, how funny was this? So at the Grammys, Joy Villa is the singer.
Oh, I love that.
And she wears the Make America Great and Trump on the back. And sales skyrocketed. Amazon everywhere, iTunes. So I guess maybe there's a message there for Hollywood and the music world.
Hey, Sean, there's an opening here. There's an opening. You got the fashion line. You got it's all good. I love it. I think that was courageous of her to do that.
It really was. I thought it was, especially in that environment. All right. Good to see you as always, Laura Ingraham. And coming up, President Trump's family continues to come under attack. Even the president's grandchildren and 10-year-old son. You won't believe the latest examples we have from the supposedly tolerant and compassionate left. Tomi Lahren, Jessica Tarlov are here to debate that and more as Hannity continues. Welcome back to Hannity. So some New York City families are allegedly considering a boycott of an elite Upper East Side school because the grandson of President Trump is rumored to be attending kindergarten there in the fall. Now, this according to a report from the New York Post titled, "Trump Ties to Upper East Side School Stirs Moms." Sadly, this is just the latest example of the left demeaning the family of President Trump. Joining us now is the Director of Research at Bustle.com, Jessica Tarlov, and the host of Tommy on the Blaze. Tomi Lahren is with us. All right. First, they go after me. It was vicious what they did to Barron. I know. I've met him. Awesome kid. Smart, polite, intelligent, really good kid. Then, now they're going after the grandchild and the son and the child of Don Jr. Then they stopped Eric Trump from raising money for St. Jude's Hospital a cancer ward because there might be conflicts with people that give money. And poor Ivanka, you know, she can't do anything right. They're politicizing her line at Nordstrom's and elsewhere. And, you know, every person that I know works here loves her stuff. Why are they going after kids, and what would happen if we did that?
We know what would happen, but this is just another example. What is that they like to say? You know, when they go low, we go high.
Yes.
After the kids. It's a different set of standards, obviously. And if they're so shaken by having a child going to kindergarten, it's going to be a rough life for some of these individuals if they're going to want to shelter their children. But then again, colleges have safe spaces now. So they're just preparing them in kindergarten.
Legos, crayons, coloring books. Jessica, I never talked about Malia and Sasha. The only thing I've said is it seems like they're great kids.
Absolutely.
You know what? Why are you going after a 10-year-old? Why are you going after a kid going into kindergarten?
I've never done it. No one that I fraternize with has.
They're going to beat up a girl, Ivanka, who's a lovely woman.
Listen, I think that going after a 10-year-old is completely unacceptable. Going and boycotting a school, it's a great school, completely unacceptable. Having a discussion about the Eric Trump Foundation or Ivanka and her clothing line, and these are adult children. I mean, Ivanka tweeted today a picture of her sitting between her father and Justin Trudeau talking about what they discussed in terms of advancing women. So, she is an advisor to the administration. That's not the same thing as just being a child.
You don't know if that wasn't a social moment?
Yes, we do know that. Why was she in the first meeting with Prime Minister Abe? And also, Tommy, I just want to read something. In October of last year, you actually tweeted, compare Chelsea Clinton to the Trump kids. Right. This isn't about looks. # debate. What did you mean by that? Why are we talking about the kids? Why were you talking about the kids yourself? And for the record, if you want to discuss Ivanka, this is all open for discussion. We're talking about the fact that if Hillary would have won and Chelsea was sitting in the middle between two world leaders, you guys would have applauded her all night long. She would have been the poster child of the feminist movement. But if Ivanka is sitting there, all of a sudden it's inappropriate. I'm asking you about your tweet. And I'm not saying if Chelsea was doing that, listen, I wanted her to step down from the Clinton Foundation.
Wait, she explained it. Not about looks, about politics.
Well, I'm sure that, like,
Ivanka, you were talking about when I said compare the two. Yes, Ivanka has done great things.
And Chelsea,
for women.
what?
I'm talking about the way that the media covers the two is night and day, where people applauded Chelsea
Really, what
Clinton.
did you guys do to the Clinton Foundation compared to the Trump Foundation? $880,000
The foundation was corrupt.
Went to the Trump resorts.
Excuse me.
What about the $77,000 cup of coffee?
All right, we're getting off base. I want to stop here for a second. If I went after the Obama kids, I probably would have groups of people wanting me fired. Wait a minute.
Sean, if you go after Beyonce, you'll have groups of people wanting you fired. Let's be honest.
What's your problem with
Let's be fair.
Beyonce?
What I'm saying is the loving left that have found these celebrities, they are so protective of certain celebrities, but then others, they go for the jugular. So you see that this is not about...
I think this is the point. I thought you guys on the left were supposed to be tolerant. I thought you guys were supposed to be inclusive.
I am super tolerant and inclusive.
Okay,
I said
but why,
no children at all.
Okay, but it's still happening.
It is
it's still happening.
Absolutely,
and it wouldn't have happened to the Obama kids. And
it
if
did.
It did,
remember when
one
the
time, one
Republican staffer
assistant
was fired
and got
for it?
fired.
What
one
happened
person.
to Chelsea Clinton in the 90s? You remember that? It was horrific how they treated her as
I don't
a teenager.
remember that. I never
Bush
talked
girls,
about
I think,
kids.
were treated very fairly. I don't remember much issue
Huge
there.
double standard. And here's my message to everybody. Leave the children alone. All right, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka, they're adults.
Grown. And they're making policy decisions.
Okay, I said they're fair game.
Yes.
Okay, they can defend themselves.